So people are burnt out. Like, working from home burns you out. I'll be there on Zoom for like 15-20 minutes, be like, okay, what? People are being excluded from certain events. People are being excluded from certain conversations. As busy season was happening last year, I was like, I don't know, I think after busy season I'm out. You guys already know that this coffee chat is about to be a good one, okay? Welcome back to my channel, guys. For those of you guys who don't know me, my name is Nicole and I'm so happy you clicked on this video. So guys, in today's video I am going to be touching on a subject that is pretty familiar on this channel, and maybe you are going through this as well. So it is all about the Great Resignation. So I am going to be giving you guys a couple of tips, just talking about when it's time to quit your job, what you should be doing prior to quitting your job. Are you in that headspace that you really want to quit your job? Because I've been there before. I have quit my job before, and you guys, I am currently going through a career transition. And if you remember from a few vlogs ago, please go watch my vlogs. I did talk about being in kind of a career funk or a career rut where I'm questioning my career and like just figuring out next steps as to where I want to take my career. So if this is you, if you're in that headspace, if you've recently quit your job, if you want to quit your job, make sure you go ahead and subscribe and keep on watching. Have found my channel through some of my public accounting videos where I did share with you guys my public accounting journey, my experience in public accounting, and also both of the times that I left public accounting. Yes, I've left public accounting twice and I don't think I'm going back. I don't know, only God knows. But you are probably in a similar situation, or you have probably been in a similar situation that I was at. So I just kind of wanted to share a little bit of my journey and also give you guys mainly tips as to what you need to do in order to ensure you are quitting successfully and not just leaving you kind of high and dry. Again, as I had mentioned earlier, currently a lot of people are quitting, a lot of people are leaving their job. A lot of it is pandemic related. A lot of people don't want to go back into the office, and more workspaces are telling people to go back into the office, so that's leading to people quitting. Another thing is just mental health. People are being burnt out. People are tired. People have been having to live through this whole ordeal that we've been facing for quite some time now. There's so many uncertainties. So people are burnt out. Like, working from home burns you out. And I'm gonna touch on that a little bit later in this video. Other cases are just better opportunities that come about. A lot of people are going into entrepreneurship. The pandemic has allowed their entrepreneurship side, or their creativity side, to flourish into a more sustainable income than their regular 9 to 5. And so all of that is kind of causing this whole Great Resignation. And with that, there is a mass hiring going on. Companies are actively hiring, but they are having a hard time filling roles, or people are accepting jobs and then they just realize this is not for them and they quit. I know when I was interviewing for a staff accountant position, I would be ghosted during the interviews. Like, the interviewees or the people that were the candidates selected for the interviews would not show up, and I'll be there on Zoom for like 15-20 minutes, be like, okay, what? Like, what's going on? And then also pay has to do with a lot of it too. A lot of people are hiring, but due to obviously economical implications and economical hardships from that the pandemic has caused, companies yet are hiring. However, they're trying to be a bit more frugal, just because people lost a lot of money last year, and some people are like, nah, you gotta pay me more, okay? And they're finding other jobs that are willing to meet them or exceed what they want to be paid. I think that gives you guys a bit of a better background as to the whole Great Resignation and what's going on, but I wanted to touch on a couple of points for you guys, just as takeaways, what I've learned through my journey, and a couple of things that I think are going to be very beneficial to you, especially those who are definitely right now who are like, oh my gosh, I wanted to quit yesterday. So let's take a sip of coffee and then we're gonna get right into this coffee chat. You guys already know. You guys already know that this coffee chat is about to be a good one, okay? So if you are in a position that you want to quit, I think the first thing you need to do is analyze your pros and cons. Do a pros and cons list of what are the pros of you leaving your job now? What are the cons of you leaving your job now? As well as what are the pros of remaining in your current role and what are the cons? For those of you guys who are watching who are probably in public accounting, or even I think just any industry, it could happen to you. Burnout is real. Burnout is a real thing. I've dealt with burnout. I'm currently dealing with burnout. It's a real thing, you know, and oftentimes we are wired, especially those who have grown up in a setting that you need to work so that you can make a better life for yourself. You're wired into you're just gonna work, and work. No matter how much that affects you as a person, you just need to work because you need to make that paycheck, because you need to live comfortably, because you don't want to end up on the streets because of yada yada yada. There's like so many reasons, right? But I think we need to acknowledge the burnout factor. We need to acknowledge that there's only so much our bodies can do. There's only so much screen time that our bodies can handle. Like, you're waking up at 5, 6 a.m. You're starting your workday at 7, 8 a.m. You're not done your workday until 6 p.m. or later. My public accounting folks, y'all already know this. Like, you are working, especially during busy season or when it's like when you're doing like quarter end work, you're working late nights, you're working 10, 12, 15 hour days, whatever it may be, just because you have a lot of work to do, you have deadlines to meet and such. So that causes burnout, and sometimes we don't realize it. I didn't acknowledge that this was burnout until like a couple of months ago, y'all. My very first years in the corporate world, I didn't realize that I had moments of burnout. I just thought that it's like, my mind started playing tricks on me where I'm like, Nicole, you're being lazy, you're not taking advantage of the opportunity that was given to you, the fact that you're working for this prestigious firm, like you should be you should be working your butt off 10 times harder. Like, why are you being lazy? Like, stuff like that. Not acknowledging that this is burnout and that I'm physically tired, I'm mentally tired, I'm emotionally tired. So if you are dealing with burnout, maybe it is time for you to leave your job. The next thing is a toxic work environment. Most of us have been through it. We've been through a toxic work environment. I've talked about it in the past. I'll link some of my videos, and I am going to be doing a video of my public accounting experience in a little bit more detail, so stay tuned for that, where I'm gonna touch a little bit more on like toxic bosses and yeah. But being in a toxic work environment is also something that could lead you to want to quit, because you're like, I can't keep doing this. I can't keep coming back to this environment. I can't keep dealing with this boss that's micromanaging me constantly. I can't keep going to these meetings all the time, like a meeting that could have been an email or that could have been a phone call. Like, it's just turning out to be toxic, or people talking about each other. And also in the corporate world, I've seen this a lot of times, like shunning happens. So people form their little pockets and groups of friendships, and if you're kind of like that newbie or that outsider who's not really fitting into a clique, you can be shunned. So that also leads to a toxic work culture and a toxic work environment where people are being excluded from certain events, people are being excluded from certain conversations, you know, and then people are left kind of in the dark, and that can lead to hindering your like performance evaluation, because some people can say that you're not doing a good job or you're not engaging with your team, but that's because they're keeping you out of the loop. Like, they're not including you, creating this whole toxic work culture, or just this like the he said, she said, they said type of thing, and people are talking behind your back and not really being upfront to your face. Like, that's a corporate America thing. I don't know. Comment down below, let me know if you guys have experienced something similar. But a toxic work culture can also lead you to leave your job. I've been in a toxic work culture, guys, and it just was not pleasant. And it took a lot. It took a lot out of me. It sucked the life out of me, just having to deal with nonsense constantly, of just the the poor work environment and the poor work culture. Like, and then even that loneliness where you're like, I don't know like who to talk to about this. If you go talk to somebody, then it's going to be blown out of proportion. So things like that, if you're in that kind of headspace or in that kind of environment, then it probably is time for you to quit your job. And then the last thing that I kind of want to share, like if it's time for you to quit your job, that I want you to evaluate while watching this video is, where are you emotionally and where are you mentally? Are you healthy? And healthy is not just going to exercise or being on a good diet. Healthy means, how is your life outside of work? Do you have a good work-life balance? Are you off the clock by 5 o'clock, 6 o'clock every night, and you can just turn off completely work and focus on your home, focus on your other passions, focus on your relationships with your friends and your significant other? Or is it like work is constantly consuming you, you know, where you need to, like, you're always feeling like you need to work, or there's always something to be done, that you're constantly on your computer or doing your work. And then also just like your mental state, how are you feeling? Are you feeling like you don't want to leave your bed? Like, do you want to get, like, that you don't want to get up and go to work in the morning, right? Like, are you just feeling down? Are you feeling sad? Are you feeling anxious about work, about your work performance, all of that? Because that is super important. If a work environment is making you feel that way, then maybe it's time for you to leave. I just want to put this disclaimer out there. No work is easy. No work environment is a walk in the park. You're gonna have your anxious moments. You're gonna have moments that it's gonna be hard, but then your passion or your love for the work or that environment that you're in is gonna make you want to keep going, and you're gonna pick yourself back up. But if it's a constant thing, honey, I don't know if that workplace is for you. So like guys, I have gone through so many issues with my mental health that I did not even know how to identify it until I broke down. And thanks to therapy and thanks to Jesus, thanks to my family, my husband, and even to you guys as well, because that's a part of the reason why I do this, is to really keep my sanity to a certain extent. But I've had to learn how to like deal with my mental health and stressors that have been caused from toxic work environments or from bad work situations. So I definitely know how that feels. So that's why I want to say, like, evaluate that. And if you're in a place that you need to go talk to your therapist constantly, or you're just like about to explode with so many emotions and things to say, it might be time for you to go. Now I kind of want to touch on what you need to do. Like, now that you've identified that it's time for you to quit your job, what is it that you need to do in order for you to prepare? When I separated with my employer last year, the good thing about it is that my husband and I can't take credit for all of this myself, it's a joint team effort. That's what a marriage is. We were actively saving, and especially, so we started saving even pre-pandemic, like really taking our finances seriously, because we wanted to buy a home. So with that, we knew that we had to cut back on some spending, and we needed to be intentional about our finances and our savings. So kind of the pandemic was a blessing in disguise, because we weren't going anywhere, we weren't doing anything, we had to eat at home, we couldn't go out, we couldn't travel. So obviously, like, we were able to put a lot of money toward our savings. But even before, like, I already knew, and I kept telling my husband, like, as busy season was happening last year, I was like, I don't know, I think after busy season I'm out. So we were intentionally and purposefully putting money aside so that if one of us were to get laid off, if one of us were to lose our jobs, or if one of us decided we did want to quit, we still had cushion, we still had money reserved just to be able to help us. And then also I was able to really start growing my YouTube channel and my consulting services and things like that. All of that is to just say, make sure you are saving. I'm gonna touch on the whole I quit without having any backup plan. But for now, this is for you who is contemplating on quitting, but you're kind of scared, you're kind of nervous. Save your money. Do an audit of your finances. How much is your rent or your living expenses, your utilities, your cell phone, your miscellaneous, your fund money, your maintenance, all of that. How much is it costing you to live? And how long do you think you can go without working? So it could be 3 months, it could be 6 months, it could be an entire year, and you need to save for that. You need to save aggressively. So make sure you're saving. I would say at least try to save up 3 to 6 months of living expenses that can have you in a cushion for some time, and then at that moment, that's when you can quit your job. Another thing maybe with savings is if you have the time, maybe try to find a secondary source of income that can help you build that savings faster so that then you can leave. So that's one thing. Try to find another job if you can. Start interviewing, put yourself out there, update your LinkedIn profile, update your resume. And if you need resume help, let me know, email me, and we can work something out where I can help you revise your resume. But make sure you're updating your resume, update your cover letter, start looking at other jobs out there and start applying. Don't be shy. You never know. You never know what blessing could come your way if you do not try. So don't come for me, but I think this one is important. Don't tell everybody your plan. I don't believe in the whole you need to consult with 10, 20 people or even your family members. I would try to go to somebody who is non-biased, who will just give you a black and white answer. And so identify that person in your life, or y'all can even reach out to me if you want to. We're gonna analyze it together. But try to consult maybe 1 or 2 people to tell them your insight. Don't tell anybody at your job. Don't tell your HR. Don't tell your mom. Don't tell your dad, whoever close to you. You want people that are gonna give you realistic answers, because your parents are probably gonna freak out as to why are you trying to leave. Some of your friends or in your circle might not understand why it is that you want to go. So maybe reach out to 1 or 2 people, talk to them about it, weigh out all the pros and cons, and then do it. Okay, and then the last thing I think is going to be once you're ready to make that decision, once you're ready to take that leap, then of course go ahead. I wouldn't even put a 2 weeks notice. I would put a month's notice, and I would say and this is if you've already found an opportunity, or if you have enough cushion that you know that I can be fine for a couple of months while I'm looking for work, while I'm regaining my strengths, while I'm taking a certification course or 2. Talk to your employer, make a game plan, make a game plan and then go talk to your employer and say, hey, I'm putting in my notice. However, I am going to be doing X, Y, and Z for you guys to prepare the next person coming into my role. In public accounting, you don't really need to do all that so much. Obviously, it still would be nice for you to do so that your team isn't picking up the slack for you. And obviously, if you're in the corporate world, they're gonna probably have to hire somebody to replace you. So just having a game plan, I think that's gonna help you leave on very good terms. That's gonna help you leave on good terms, and you're just being a thoughtful employee. So now, this is for you who is I have to go, I can't take this anymore. 1 more second and I'm just gonna explode, and you have nothing, you quit your job, you have no savings, you have nothing backed up. Boo-boo. I don't know about that. So I would definitely say at least try to have a savings, or try to have some sort of game plan, as to how are you gonna survive. So if you're in a position that you can go live with your parents, you can go live with a family member, you can go live with a friend, and you're gonna be contributing in some way, shape, or sort while you look for your next opportunity, great. But obviously, if you have no other source of income coming in, and you have nothing lined up, that could be a little hard, but you could do it. If your current environment is affecting your mental health to that level and you need to get out, just get out. Just get out, and I would say get out. Be intentional about spending that time praying to God, asking for clarity, asking God to sustain you, asking God to be the provider for you during this time that you are in, because sometimes people are just like, sometimes you just get to that point that you're like, oh my goodness, I can't do this anymore. I have to walk away today. Like, I need to go, I need to get my stuff, and I just need to leave, right? So for that, I would say ask the Lord, seek his guidance, seek his provision, because at the end of the day, we have all of these things, but the Lord is the one that gives it, and he can take it away. So that is what I would say if you're like, I quit my job with no backup plan. But usually most people who do quit their job, they have a savings, they have some kind of cushion, or they're doing something on the side to bring them some kind of residual income to be able to help them during this season of transitioning and of just figuring out what you're gonna do next. So I've gone through like quitting a job before and all of that, and again, I'm gonna touch on it more in upcoming videos, so make sure you guys subscribe. But I hope this video really helped you guys out to just figure out your thought processes and really figure out if it is time for you to quit your job. And if it is, let me know how that goes. I'm proud of you, and I look forward to your journey. Like, a lot of you guys DM me, we talk about, you like, y'all have left your jobs and you guys are thriving in your current places, or some of you guys have become entrepreneurs, which I'm so happy about, guys. So let me know how it goes, but I hope this video encourages you to quit your job if it is time for you to quit. And if it's not time for you to quit, maybe helping you figuring out a game plan so that in a couple of months you can leave and just thrive with your next role. So I love you guys. Don't forget to subscribe if you've gotten this far. Follow me on Instagram so you can keep up with me in real time, and I will see you in my next video.